So why am I running a youth coaching summit? Hey guys, welcome back to the Stephen Kinsel podcast. It's been a while. This is episode 63. And what we're looking to do in today's show is to talk about the importance of running the youth summit and why it is so important that we put more focus and emphasis on kids and teens and literally building a stronger generation. So for people that don't know or don't understand or have not heard yet, is that this year, September 13th, it's a Saturday at the Glenview Hotel in the beautiful Wicklow, my hometown. We will be hosting the first ever, I think the first ever youth summit. This is not only a national, but this is now an international event where we have speakers from literally around the world coming to talk to us about youth fitness. But not only that, we're going to talk about the reasons why fitness is so important for kids, not just sport, why strength and conditioning and strength training specifically is super important, how the impact of kids going to teens to adults, how that has literally helped transform their lives. Also, we're talking about attachment styles, all of that. And we have amazing guest speakers. We have the likes of S&C coach Sammy Dowling. We have Nikki Edwards, Samantha Matters from Australia with the Brand X Method, Jeff and Mickey Martin, the founders of the Brand X Method, coming all the way from America. And it is just going, and we have a bunch of other guests and speakers like Gillian Clarges from Hoop Schools, Circa Breen. And we are literally excited to bring everyone together to share our knowledge in the hopes to start literally a revolution when it comes to youth fitness. There is a demand there. There is more of a need there. And what today's show is going to be about is I'm going to break down what is happening and why it is so important. I'm going to be reading from a screen as well. So if my attention kind of looks like it's cleared away, it's not, because I just want to make sure I'm getting the information correct that I'm giving to you. So then you can make a better informed decision on why what we're doing is so important. So firstly, when it comes to youth fitness, youth strength and conditioning, anything to do with youth, the desire is to literally help build a stronger generation. This started for me back in 2010 when I got my first certification. It was the CrossFit Kids certification. And then from there, I started looking into it more, and then I became a Brand X Method coach. I got their certifications and then their affiliate and all so on and so forth. I've picked up some other youth coaches along the certifications along the way. And in 2014, we started FSM Kids and Teens, and we've grown that over the last 11 years to be one of the kind of standards of what a youth strength and conditioning program should be and should look like. And the goal is that it's not that I want to have FSM gyms everywhere. I want just more youth coaching facilities around, helping kids become physically stronger and mentally more resilient. What we're looking to kind of get across to you is the reason why. Now, we're not going to delve too much into the sporting aspect. There is an element of sport that we could talk about, but we want to get into literally the statistics on everything that's going on. So what I've done is I have done a fair bit of research. I've put a lot of stuff through ChatGPT as well, just to get some more information. I've picked 4 countries. The countries that I picked to work and talk about today is one is Ireland, obviously, because that's where I am, the UK, Australia, and America. And we're trying to discern all the common faults and traits that we are doing and continue to do to help our kids become more unhealthy. And I say help because that's what we're doing. We're literally helping them become more unhealthy in not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. So we're going to start off with the likes of obesity rate. So obesity rate in Ireland currently is 17.7, and that's from 2023. I think realistically, getting the information out of Ireland was pretty hard, so I think it's actually probably higher. But obviously, you can't quote me. I'm just using the stats that I'm given and is in front of me. So in Ireland, there is a 17.7% of overweight or obese children. Out of that 17.7, 24% of that is from disadvantaged schools, right? So this is where the information is coming from. In England, it is between 22.1 to 25%. And they're putting a lot of that down to COVID. But again, that's 21 22.1 to 25% of the English UK population of kids is overweight or obese. In the United States, it didn't give a full statistic, but the one I did pull out was that among children aged 2 to 4 years of age enrolled in women's infants and children programs, severe obesity increased from 1.8% to 2%. So we're looking at kids as young as four with weight problems and obesity problems. Now, and then obviously you got Australia, and this is from 2018. Approximately 24% of children aged 5 to 14 were overweight or obese, with 7.7 classified as obese. Now, I'm not body shaming. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So we're going to just push all of that to the side and look at it. Our kids are not meant to be obese and overweight. Yes, there is kids that naturally have weight. I had weight on me as a teenager. Would be considered an overweight young teenager, and I grew out of it. But I know that if I don't eat correctly and if I don't exercise regularly, then I will easily gain body fat. I will easily become unhealthy. So it's not anything to do with shaming, it's factual. And if we have an increased event of kids getting more weight issues and then the complications and health issues that come with that, then that is on parents. It's not the kids' problem. It's not the kids' fault. It's us, and we've done a bad job, and we need to fix this. We got anxiety and depression. Okay, so anxiety and depression in Ireland, 2012 to versus 2019, the My World survey revealed that severe anxiety amongst adolescents aged 12 to 19 doubled from 11% to 22% in the space since 2012 to 2019. So it's anxiety and depression has actually doubled in Ireland in such a small time. That again is crazy. And the caveat to all of this is that we are providing more services, and yet it's still getting worse. So that's what we're trying to get people to start understanding, and how we can help them with very little impact that we can add to their daily lives. Okay. In the UK, a 2025 study highlighted that 1 in 5 children and younger people aged 8 to 25 are experiencing common mental health problems such as anxiety and depression. In Australia, from 2007 to 27, the Australian Bureau of Statistics showed that nearly 40% of young Australians aged 16 to 24 experienced mental health disorder in the previous years, and that is up from 26% in 2027. So 40% of young Australians. And in America, the way it's been written here is health conditions among adolescents aged 12 to 17 increased by 35% from 15%, and 20 of them were diagnosed with anxiety, increased by 61% of depression. It doesn't really read well, but that's just what I'm reading off. But if you can see it between Ireland, the UK, Australia, and America, over the span of the last, let's say, decade on average, we have had kids that have more anxiety, they have more depression, they have more weight problems. So clearly we are not doing the job that needs to be done. And I'm going to venture a guess. I know why that is. Moving on to that, we have a really crazy statistics on suicide. So in Ireland, okay, when it comes to suicide, because if you have weight issues and you have a lot of anxiety and you have depression, then you tend to have more suicide tendencies. So what's happened over the past decade, okay? So the past decade, what's been happening is in Ireland, there's been a slight increase trend over the past decade. Males suicide in teens and young boys is higher than females. In England, between 2015 to 2018, males is 3 times higher than females when it comes to suicide rates. Regional variations overall rising. So again, since 2015 in Ireland, suicide rates are increasing. It just in younger men. In younger men mostly. In England, it's rising. In Australia, again, saying 75% of suicides are young men. 25% of that of those younger statistics are female. Again, it's increasing among youths. They're seeing it. They're seeing these suicide rates grow. And in the USA, again, it's higher in young boys, but there's a 48% increase in adolescents over the last decade. So what we got to look at is that not only are our kids becoming unhealthy, they are more anxiety. They have more suffering from depression or have depression, and what comes with that is suicidal tendencies. And we've seen over the past 10 years in all four countries that the suicide rate is increasing. It's actually more prevalent to young boys, but it is increasing overall. And again, this is known statistics, and we just don't seem to be doing enough about it. Um, I don't think that's healthy. That we are doing more now. One of the things I did look up is that when it comes to the likes of there's more sport options, there's more therapy out there, there's more clinics for youth specifically, and even though we have more available services, we're still increasing the numbers of people that need these services, which ties to we're doing something wrong. There's something in there that's going wrong. So let's go into where. Why am I talking about this? Where do I fit in? Where does the Youth Coaching Summit fit in? Well, based off the guidelines, according to Ireland, the UK, Australia, and America, the average kid should be doing not an average kid, every kid should be doing 60 minutes of physical exercise every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. So in Ireland, the guidelines say at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity should include activities that strengthen muscles, not sport. Strengthening the muscles. It's physical exercise doesn't equal sport. It can equal sport. Sport is really good. It has its place and its purpose, but it is not the only way. And there's a lot of kind of downsides to sport. There's a lot of upsides, but there's a lot of downsides as well. When it comes to the UK, children and young people should engage in an average of 60 minutes per day across the week. Should involve moderate to vigorous intensity, including muscle and bone strengthening activities 3 times per week. In Australia, at least 60 minutes to moderate to vigorous physical activity. Include activities as strengthening muscles and bone at least 3 times a week. Limit screen time. It's the only one that actually talks about limiting screen time to less than 2 hours per day, which is pretty good. And in America, again, 60 minutes or more of physical activity a day. Most of the 60 minutes should be moderate or vigorous and should include muscle strengthening at least 3 times a week and aerobic activity daily. So out of the four countries, we all agree that kids should be moving like at least for physical activity. This doesn't include walking. This doesn't include basic sport, physical education once a week. This includes physical activity every single day. That's what we need. Physical activity every single day for a minimum of 60 minutes. Okay? Now, here's the fun bit. According to statistics, right? Countries, this is where it comes. So Ireland, out of the population, 13% meet the daily guidelines of 60 minutes per day. 13% meet the daily requirements. And it is also declining in girls. I know there's the whole stop the drop of girls quitting sports. It's a whole other thing, a whole other conversation, which I'd love to have. In the UK, it's 19%, and that's up to 15-year-olds. In Australia, it's 23%. Stable rates, no significant improvement. So that's been kind of stable across the board for a while. And the USA, all I could get from them is 8,000 to 9,000 steps per day, decline with age, socioeconomic disparity. So they didn't really have an awful lot there. I couldn't find it. Again, if I could find it, I'm sure it'd be very similar to what we're doing. Seeing as if the obesity rates are going up, if the depression, anxiety are going up, if the suicidal rates are going up, then clearly the activity rates are not there. So why is this happening? Well, it's very simple, right? We got to look at it. So we have reduced physical education and playtime in schools. It's not a priority as it used to be. I don't even when I was in school, it was once a week. It wasn't twice a week. It should be more than that. It should be every day. There's the reason why they're saying they're overcrowded curriculums, resource inequality, COVID-19 impact. I get the COVID-19 thing, but it's now 2025. It shouldn't be a problem anymore. COVID, I would say, out of the four reasons why this is happening, I'd say three are valid, one is no longer valid. And that's in school stuff. Outside of school stuff, there's a rise in screen time. That's a parental control thing. You are a parent. If you have kids, obviously those kids have parents, you can control this. So if your kid is on the screen more than 3-4 hours a day, or more than 2 hours a day, then that's on you. And it really is on you. And I'll take the comments wherever you want to send them. It's on you. You got to think about it. Like if a kid's on their phone 4 or 5 hours a day, every day of the week, total out up over the week, total out up over the year, they're literally going to be on the screen for what, 3 to 4 months a year. And they're not exercising. Exercise should be the requirement for you to allow your child to have some screen time. Okay, but so you got the rise in screen time. You've got a lack of safe outdoor spaces. I get that. I understand in certain areas that can be a thing, but there's ways around that too. Busy family schedules. I also understand that too, but there is disciplines that you could add to your family, and then decline in unstructured play. So unstructured play or free play is just kids going out and playing. And that kind of goes back into the lack of safe outdoor spaces. And I understand in certain areas that is not possible. The way I grew up, I was just sent out, told to come back when it was dinner time, or when the lights came on, the street lights, that type of thing. I get that. But at the same time, we have to look at what we can still do to change all of this. All right. And then also there's financial barriers. Sports clubs, equipment, memberships can be expensive. And I understand all of this, but there's workarounds, there's ways. Sports is not the solution to all of this. And I have to keep harping on that sports is not the only way. It is a very valid, and I like sports, but it's not the only way we can do this. So we are living in perfect storm, right? So the bottom line here is there is a perfect storm of modern life: digital distractions, academic pressures, urbanization, reduction of school funding, and lifestyle shifts, all contributing to dramatic drop in how much kids move their bodies. Okay, cool. So what I did is I took all this information, I threw it into ChatGPT, and I gave it a task. I asked ChatGPT, what would happen if we took all kids and actually got them moving every single day for between 30 to 60 minutes per day? What would happen in a 10-year life, a 10-year time span? And here's what, and I knew the answer, but here's what ChatGPT threw out, which I think is better. And we're going to break it down to sections. So when it comes to mental health, depression, anxiety, and suicide, so exercise equals a natural antidepressant. So if we coach kids from let's say next week or next school year, it's just mandatory from now. Yes, but just everyone falls in line and everyone starts doing it. Here's what's going to happen. Regular aerobic activity will increase dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, all brain chemicals that regulate mood. Exercise also reduces cortisol, the stress hormone associated with anxiety and burnout. Studies show children and teens who exercise daily report lower levels of anxiety and depression. Oh my God, yes, that's what happens. In a 10-year outlook, significant reduction in teen depression and anxiety rates, improved resilience to stress, and a potential drop in suicide rates. It says potential because it's not sure. Especially among boys who are less likely to seek verbal support but respond well to physical routines. So let me just say it again. Potential drop in suicide rates, especially among young boys who are less likely to seek verbal support and respond well to physical routines. Just saying. Obesity and physical health. So we know that moving daily will help with weight control. The 10-year outlook, okay? A steep drop in childhood obesity rates, especially in disadvantaged communities, lower long-term risk of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, more body positive confidence, especially in young adolescent girls. Let me say that again. More body positive confidence, especially in young females. We can help the boys and we can help the girls. And physical education, physical fitness, physical education will do that. Proper physical fitness, proper physical education, stuff that is vigorous, something that includes strength training, resistance training. Okay, when it comes to cognitive and academic benefits, okay, a 10-year bonus long term impact, right? Better classroom behavior, reduced ADHD symptoms, improve academic achievement and greater career readiness, more emotionally stable, socially connected youths. So, if we from next week decided that in the 4 countries or around the world, all kids have to wear just mandatory. I think we don't care if you like it or love it. Every kid has to start doing some form of exercise for up to 60 minutes every single day. It could be 30 minutes in school and 30 minutes at home. It is now required by law. We are going to have kids that are less obese, less likely to have adult diseases like heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. We're going to have kids that are more resilient, more confident, able to handle stress better. We're going to have kids that function better in school, learn better. I don't see the I don't see the downside. I really don't. So if we implement this, if we were to do this, we would have less mental health disorders. Obesity rates and illnesses would be declining. Suicide and self harm would be less, and we'd have a better academic and social outcomes. So why, like, all this information is there? I'm able to get this information. So people that are in the field definitely have this information long term. Okay. The sad part of this is here's what governments are spending. So when it comes to Ireland on preventative measures like active and sports and getting kids active and education, they're spending 100 million. On medications alone in Ireland, we're spending between 300 to 500 million on medications to offset all the other, like, mental health, obesity, anxiety, depression, all of that. We're spending nearly up to between 300 to 500 million. In the UK, it's 1 billion they spend on preventative measures, but they spend 1.1 billion on the medications because the people have now developed these issues that they have to deal with and dealt with in a medical way. So England are probably doing the best. They're kind of half and half. But again, we could do so much better. Australia, 30 million, and they spend 300 million on other obesity, anxiety, and depression medications. America is 2.5 billion on preventative stuff, and it's 25 billion on obesity, anxiety, and depression medications. Like, if you just think about just the maths on that, we are not even trying to do it right. We're not even trying. We are waiting, and I get it is a money game for some people. We are waiting for people to get sick. It's like we want you to get as sick as possible, but not sick that you can't function, go to work, pay your taxes, but sick enough that then you have to then buy pills for the rest of your life and live in absolute misery. This is why I want the Youth Summit, because if I'm going to do my part, I'm going to bring the world's best to Ireland, and I'm going to talk about why it's so important. I'm also going to show you how we can do it. What's the importance of being a good youth coach? What is the importance? Literally show you how, from what I've done at FSM, how I've impacted someone who now impacts other people through fitness, is amazing. How it can be done through sport. How, if you are playing sport, the right resistance strength training you should be doing as a young athlete. And when it comes to coaching kids and teens and talking about different types of personalities that we need to deal with, the different types of levels that our kids are on, so how we can help them be better. And we have a team, a panel of amazing speakers coming to this, and they're going to help me start something that hopefully is going to end up not only in Ireland, but in the UK, in the US, in Australia, and any other country around the world that wants to come along for the ride and literally help build a stronger generation. We know it to be true that if we spend a little bit more time and effort, and it does take time and effort, and a lot of people say, I don't have the time, but our kids deserve the time. You make the time. We have to do this. We have to build a stronger generation of kids. And I feel that it's something that we can definitely do. Please share this with your friends. If you're on social media, share this video. If you haven't seen the podcast, go listen to the full podcast. Share it. If you'd like to come to the youth coaching summit this September 13th of September in the Glenview Hotel, just click the link in my bio. It is there, or in the show notes. It will be there for you. And guys, thank you for watching or listening to the podcast. If you want to be involved, or if you want to help in any way, or if you need help in any way, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you at any way that I possibly can. Have a great day. Let's go. See you in the next one.